Now, finally, after some time, I'm finally up and going. The NBA trade deadline is ending in 7 minutes. And while I'm over here, I'm going to go ahead and go over every single trade that has gone on since yesterday around this time after the Anthony Davis trade. Right, let me go ahead and get these pulled up. So, obviously, you guys know AD was traded yesterday around this time, around like 145-ish, 145-ish yesterday. And a lot of trades happened to them. Some small, some big ones happened like 20 minutes ago, where I was having technical difficulties. But we are back and ready to go. So let me just go down to about yesterday. Boom. And see what I really think of every trade. I didn't talk about this one. Okay, so the last thing I talked about yesterday was Jared McCain trade. So I'm going to go ahead and start up on... We're going to start at this one right here. Go to screen 2. Let's move me to right here for today for the time being. Let's go like this. Should be good to go. Alright, listen. So yesterday, at exactly around literally 24 hours ago, the Hornets got Kobe White and Mike Conley, Fakan Sexton, Ousmane Dieng, and 3 second-round picks. So that adds to the fact that I don't know what the Hornets' purpose of this trade is. I don't get it. And if you really think about it, they already have so many guards. Okay, there we go. So they already have so many guards, right? They have Kobe White now. They have LaMelo Ball. They have Knibble, right? And a guy like Kobe White, you're gonna have him run off the bench. I guess help your bench unit. But I think Kobe White's a little bit better than just being your backup point guard. But I guess in reality, LaMelo Ball does come off the bench a lot. LaMelo Ball is injured a good amount. So you're kind of just there just to have another guy to back up that's reliable and play the similar type of basketball than Kobe White than LaMelo Ball does. Adding to a really fun and exciting team. Another 3-point shooter. Another guy who gets the ball moving. Basically adding to a really fun and exciting team. Basically giving up nothing. Ousmane Dieng is, doesn't play basketball. Mike Conley ended up getting away from the Hornets either way. Colin Sexton might get traded off the Bulls. Bulls are getting assets and they're flipping them. And then we moving on to what's the next trade of the night. What's the next trade? Okay, boom. This one is added to the Kobe White deal. Hornets also acquired Mason Plumlee from the Thunder, right? Where's this Chris Paul? Yes, the Chris Paul trade. That's what I want to talk about here for a second. Raptors got Chris Paul, which they can end up waiving him. Who knows where the hell he's going to go. Nets get Ochai Agbaji, second-round pick, stocking up on whatever they can get for basically nothing. And the Clippers get Jeff Wright. This is a bullshit trade. Ochai Agbaji barely even played for the Raptors, but in his minutes with the Raptors, he looked really good. Adding to a Nets team that aren't playing for anything. I mean, this is such a throwaway trade just to move some assets around. This isn't really going to do anything for anyone. Chris Paul to be waived. Cavs, Bucks, that material. Hawks, no. Jock Landale for cash considerations. Who the hell gives a shit? Right? The Jazz just get a backup big because Porzingis, well, we find out later on, Porzingis getting traded. Okay, if I keep looking at my phone, it's because, still deadline's going on. And we just came out saying that the Clippers aren't planning on trading Kawhi Leonard. Alonzo Ball to be away from the Jazz, which is, I don't know who the hell is willing to pick him up. Anything else? Any other trades? Talk to me. Oh yeah, this is about the games yesterday. The reason why I want underdog and not on Shams is because Shams doesn't really have the full trade broken down, but underdog does. Right? You see, they'll tell you the full on trade. Tyus Jones got traded from the Magic to the Hornets for cash. Tyus Jones has been awful all year long. I'm surprised he got moved for nothing, but I kind of understand it. But as we move, I'm gonna find out Tyus Jones is gonna move on a lot throughout this deadline. He's just one of those guys that people keep tossing back and forth. I still believe he's a serviceable backup point guard. I just don't know why he's getting tossed like he's garbage, right? No. Boom. Come on, talk to me. Boom. This is what I want to talk about. Kristaps Porzingis getting moved to the Golden State Warriors, and Atlantic Hawks getting Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield. There is no way no picks were included in this trade on both sides. The Warriors getting expiring, yes, but is Kristaps really your guy? He's played 17 out of 52 games this season. He's been out majority of the time. He's been sick since last year. No one knows what the hell is going on with him. And on top of that, you get rid of Kuminga, which you wanted to do. Fine, whatever, get him off your books. Also get rid of Buddy Hield, who's one of your oldest shooters on the team. I'm not too sure how he's playing this season, but still, it doesn't feel right to trade away Buddy Hield for Kristaps Porzingis out of all people. Because Porzingis, we all know, isn't going to play. And we all thought it's for a bigger picture here, the Warriors gonna use Porzingis' salary to get a player who's gonna help them win now. But as it turns out, with 1 minute left on the trade deadline, they have not done shit. They're planning on keeping Porzingis as just a salary dump, and the offseason comes, he was an expiring contract, and God knows what the hell they're gonna do with that money. This does not put the Warriors any better than they really were. Because that again, you have a lineup now of Curry, Pods, Moody, Draymond, and Porzingis. Where is that winning in the Western Conference? Porzingis is barely going to play. And on top of that, you're going to see later on that they traded Trace Jackson Jr. Davis for a second round pick. So now they generally don't have any other big except for Al Horford, Quentin Post, Porzingis, and Draymond Green. If that is your big rotation, you are screwed. You have no decent forwards with Butler turning the ACL. And now trading Jonathan Kuminga, you don't have any forwards at hand. The Warriors just got extremely worse with this trade. I don't know where the hell this fucking takes them. I don't know what this move, and then boom, Trace Jackson Davis trade, like I said, for a second round pick. I thought that they got this Porzingis and then got second round pick to make it better, to go get someone better, but I guess it's not gonna do it. Like I said, the Warriors are lineup terrible. Your Warriors pursuit for Giannis is over. Yeah, we kind of figured that. Yeah. Then we saw this Yabusele for Dalen Terry. Dalen Terry hasn't done shit. And this ends up being a great move from the Knicks because we're going to see later on. Yabusele doesn't play basketball. Dalen Terry doesn't play basketball. I guess because the Bulls needed some bigs. They doubled up on Yabusele. Boom. Ayo Dosunmu. I want this full trade package before I talk about this. Boom. There it is. This was surprising by the Wolves. Trading away Rob Dillingham, Leonard Miller, and 4 second rounders. Why are they giving up picks when they give up a young guard? You get me? And the Bulls add another guard to their already stacked guard rotation. I understand that they traded away a guard, got a guard back, traded away Kobe White, got another guard back for him, and the trade. It's all over the place when it comes to the Bulls. The Bulls, I don't know what direction they're fucking going, but they're just getting assets, flipping them for even more assets that they don't need. I don't know what the Bulls' full direction here is. I don't know. It is very confusing, and it's really telling that they didn't even have a direction. I think we're gonna see here. Do a getting ready to crazy. Yes, this Laker trade. I want to talk about this for a second too. This trade felt like a fine. I guess we'll do a trade. We'll trade our only second round pick for Luke Kennard. Well, yes, he's shooting a damn near NBA history like crazy. This is like I think he's had the highest 3-point percentage in NBA history, shooting 39% from 3. Absolutely phenomenal out of 49% from 3, but he's averaging like 3.2 attempts per game. Just ain't any crazy volume, but you also gotta understand the fact that this is more of like, fine, we'll do a trade, just make y'all happy, but this is max we're getting out of anything. We get out of the Lakers. I'm really going into it. The Lakers were not gonna make any significant trades as the deadline is over, right? Yeah, deadline's basically done. 2 minutes over. Might be some last second trades coming through. This is it. This is all the Lakers are gonna do all year. Does this help us a lot? Not really. I don't know. It's a lateral move because Kennard is also an expired contract. Pelinka is so heavy on keeping as much cap space as possible because going into the offseason, Lakers will have like over close to $50 million in cap space. I believe it's like 55 is the exact number we're gonna have in cap space going into the offseason. We're gonna still have to re-sign Reeves, re-sign role players. I think LeBron's gone regardless. He takes a pay cut or not, but I think LeBron's gone. He might go to Cleveland. He might retire. I don't think he's coming back to the Lakers. This doesn't help us at all. Getting got Luke Kennard doesn't solve any problems we have in the sense that we can't defend for shit. Luke Kennard can't defend for shit. He could shoot, but then again, it comes with Lakers tax. He's gonna end up being a 49% shooter to like a 40%, which is still the best shooter on the team. He's gonna be who we thought Dalton Connect was gonna be, right? Yeah, you see here 49% from 3 on very low attempts though. This is the most intriguing buyout thing. Haywood Highsmith hasn't played all year long, but he's projected to make his debut in about a week from now. But he was just waived by the Nets. So if I am the Lakers, I am picking up that phone and I'm getting him. A highly athletic wing who can shoot roughly average from 3, who's a decent defender. We have to target him. We need the forward play. We don't have good forward play, and especially that we kept every single one of our expiring contracts to do fuck all with them. This is insane to me. But Haywood Highsmith is going to be a top free agent for any contending team. Even though, yes, he hasn't played basketball all year long. I don't know how he's going to look. But he's a high reward, low risk type player. So you have to go for him. What else we got here? The Jaden Ivey trade. Did I talk about this? No, that's a couple of days ago. This is crazy to me. The Bucks get Nick Richards. And the Suns get Cole Anthony. But wasn't Nick Richards just moved Suns getting Cole Anthony. I mean, he becomes a backup point guard and their only point guard. Chris Boucher to the Jazz, Jose Alvarado to the Knicks, which we did end up finding out. This is the trade, yes. Dalen Terry and 2 second-round picks for Jose Alvarado. The Knicks needed some guy like this who could play defense, shoot the ball decently, and hustle. That was the main thing the Knicks were lacking, is defense. He's a good perimeter defender. He can shoot the 3 ball, and he's a ball handler. It's exactly what you needed out of him. He do exactly what his job is. And on top of that, we found out, where is it? Boom. Deuce McBride undergo surgery for a sports hernia. So now he's taking all of McBride's minutes as that backup guard, backup ball handler to Brunson, and could play very good defense. You kind of have to accept that out of him. Right, boom. Hunter Tyson, second round pick. Who gives a shit? This is more for them to clear space so that they can sign Spencer Jones. The Nuggets can sign Spencer Jones to a contract. Aaron Gordon to the Grizzlies. Who gives a shit? There's Aaron Gordon, and then this is what I want to talk about. Where is the full trade package? Boom. Zubac and Kobe Brown for Benedict Mathurin, Isaiah Jackson, 2 first round picks and 1 second round pick. Oh my god. Okay, can I know what the picks are for this Clippers? I want to know what the Clippers got. Boom, here they are. 2026 protected pick, 1 through 4 and 10 to 30. So basically, so they got a part of the Pacers pick. The Pacers are one of the worst teams in the league. Right? If we just quickly go into the standings real quick. They are the worst team in the league. They might end up as a top 5 worst team in the league. There it is. They might end up as the worst team in the league, which is good. Which is good for the Clippers, because you're banking on the fact they fall out of the top 4 and they end up 5 through 9, because then you get the pick. I never heard of protection like this, but this is crazy. That means the Pacers are really banking on the fact that they end up the Clippers end up with the Pacers are banking on the fact to end up with the top 4 pick. And even if they don't, they know they have Zubac. So now you kind of go, oh, whoa. This is crazy. The Brooklyn Nets are waiving Cam Thomas, allowing him to enter free agency. That is crazy. Why didn't they just trade him? They could have got something out of him. Teams are willing to give up anything. That is crazy. I don't know if the Lakers should target him. I don't think he should be a Lakers target, because then again, he doesn't fit any of our needs. We don't need more offense. We need defense. If the Lakers but knowing Rob Pelinka, the way he thinks, oh, high talented guard who could put the ball in the basket. Let's go ahead and sign him. I beg you, Rob, do not sign Cam Thomas. It is a trap. Go for Hayward Highsmith, someone we need. It is a fucking trap. Do not sign Cam Thomas. It is not gonna help you. I beg you, Rob. Rob, hold up. Please stay far away from Cam Thomas. We do not need him. I beg. Stay away from Cam Thomas. We don't need this diva on our team. We don't need a guy who needs to get shots up. We do not need that. We already have a diva in Rui Hachimura and another diva in DeAndre Ayton who won't do shit unless the ball's in their hands. And he's even worse. We saw what he was doing over there in Brooklyn. Please do not sign him. I beg. Please don't sign Cam Thomas. Because if this motherfucker is repping purple and gold, I might fucking flip. He adds nothing positive on the defensive end. And if you really bank on offense, please don't bank on offense. No trade for second kids they held on to. Yeah, who gives a shit? The Kings held on to all their assets. That isn't a big deal. But please do not go for Cam Thomas. He adds nothing positive to this team. But teams that do need him, I don't know where the fuck he would go. Because what contending team needs a scorer? A lot of them do, right? If you really think about it, if you're OKC, you kind of want to think about it. But then again, he doesn't fit the way you guys play. But he is another shot creator. OKC really lacks some shot creators, especially with Shea going down. You kind of need that. And Shea and Dub not being there, he might be a good person to slot in. You always think about the lineup. You don't really need him. Already stacked rotation, but you need someone who put the ball in the basket. Cam Thomas can do that. While they're contending to the Pistons, another ball handler, relatively cheap, could help you in the long run. Giving a secondary ball handler next to Cade Cunningham, that could work. Even with the Knicks, right? Then again, a secondary ball handler next to Jalen Brunson, you kind of need that. Teams that have that main one ball handler. They don't have that secondary ball handler coming off the bench. He could really work with them. You can even see the Nuggets, right? A lot of contending teams could use Cam Thomas as that backup. Oh, I'm gonna get the ball. I'm putting ball in basket type of guy. But a team like the Lakers does not need him. But Rob Pelinka's definitely gonna make that call, not the way he fucking thinks. But hey, whatever team gets him, good luck. I think in the long run, this is gonna work. It's gonna matter for some people. This year he hasn't done shit, right? We could quickly just look at Cam Thomas. He's barely played this year. I know he's been hurt most of the time. He's averaging almost 16 points per game. I mean, 40%. Like he's pretty goddamn efficient, right? I mean, shit. His 3-point down. Actually no. He's having one of the worst seasons of his career since his sophomore season. And then again, he's barely played. He's only played 24 games, and the Nets have played like 50 something. So realistically speaking, it's like a low risk, high reward type of thing. If you do go for Cam Thomas, because if it doesn't work out, bench him. You don't owe him shit. Probably gonna sign him on a 1-year deal, a minimum contract. That's the type of guy Cam Thomas is. But I just beg a team like the Lakers, do not go for him. The Warriors might go for him too, because then again, it's one of those teams that need a secondary ball handler right now. They need someone to put the ball in the basket. So I can see the possibility of him going to the Warriors. But now I want to go back to the Zubac trade. Oh wait, yeah, okay. So the Zubac trade is crazy to me, because for the Clippers, it's like, okay, we don't have our own pick, but we do want to tank, right? We do want to somewhat tank this season and call it a day. But so if the Pacers fall in the top 4, you still have Zoo to lean back on. And you still have Zoo for the time when Tyrese Halliburton comes back. You're like, oh shit, we have a team now. Halliburton, Nimhard, whoever was fucking to put the 3, Siakam and Zubac. You put a center next to Halliburton. It's not no Miles Turner who can stretch the floor, but Halliburton doesn't need a stretch foot. Halliburton does not need someone who can stretch the floor. He needs someone that can catch lobs and be an inside big, and that's perfect for him. You put the perfect team around Halliburton right now. For when he comes back next year, your team's ready to go. Perfect, low risk, low reward, high reward for the Pacers. And on top of that, you still can end up with your pick, because then again, the likelihood of it falling 5 through 9 when you are basically a bottom 5 team in the league is really good for y'all. But on top of that, on the flip side though, the Clippers are banking on the fact you guys fall through 5 through 9, so that they get something out of this trade. For the Pacers, this is a win-win. For the Clippers though, I don't know, because you get the 2029 unprotected pick. But then by then, they're still probably going to have Siakam, and they're still probably going to have Halliburton and Zubac still. So this is going to be like a mid-20s pick, maybe right out to the lottery. Then the Clippers though, they get Bennedict Mathurin, another scorer to put next to Kawhi, Isaiah Jackson, 2 first-round picks. We'll go over that in a second. I don't know what Mathurin's really going to do on this team, because now you're stuck with Garland, Mathurin, Kawhi, John Collins, and Brook Lopez. I guess that's your lineup. I don't know where this goes. Now what you're doing is opening the door up for OKC to get a lottery pick. You're giving OKC a lottery pick in this, because there's no way that the Clippers are planning on contending this year or trying to make the playoffs with a team like this, even especially after trading away James Harden. You were kind of stuck with this team, and God knows where the hell this is going to take you. I don't agree with this at all from the Clippers side of things. I guess they're big on that pick. That's about it. But you're kind of just giving OKC a lottery pick with this. Okay, it is what it is. Whoever they get, they get. I don't know. Great trade for the Pacers. Win-win for the Pacers. The Clippers, it is only a win for the Clippers if that pick falls between 5 through 9. If it doesn't fall between 5 through 9, then it's basically stupid on their end. It's basically stupid. Unless this pick was a top 5 protected, then I think it's win-win, because then you're banking on the fact that it's 6 and up. But if you're only banking on a 5 through 9, I don't know. That's a little sketchy, honestly. That is sketchy. All right, mixed nothing else. Yeah, last thing is about, okay. This is the biggest trade of the day, 100%. Yeah, potential lineup, Aaron Neesmith. I forgot they have Neesmith. Right, great scoring upside. First, does not convey to the Clippers. It conveys 2031 unprotected first rounder. Still don't like that one. And apparently the Pacers want to get Walker Kessler, included those 2 first-round picks. And the Jazz have been adamant on keeping Kessler, which I see the idea of it. I do understand why they would keep Kessler. They want to see how the whole lineup runs out next year, so they're probably going to try to give Kessler his bag next year in this offseason. Mavs get Tyus Jones, Malachi Brandt. Like I said, Tyus Jones is getting moved around like it's nothing. The Mavs get another point guard. I don't know what the fucking Mavs are doing at this point. I think they're just trying to tank as much as they can, try to get rid of anything they can. And then this one, this is the full trade. of the Suns get Cole Anthony, Amari Coffey, I guess. I mean, I don't know if there's nothing that gives you the point guard, especially with Devin Booker being out a lot. You kind of have that same thing that lean on. Osman doesn't play basketball. Nigel Harris Davis, no clue what the fuck he does. I don't think he's played at all this year. The Bulls get Nick Richards. I think that's a positive. They have their starting center now because they got rid of Vooch. So now their center plays Nick Richards and Jalen Smith. And Mike Conley just got waived. We expected it. I don't know where the fuck he's going to go. Rumor has he's going back to Minnesota. He could legally do that, surprisingly, even though they just traded him to the Bulls. But because he was traded from the Bulls and not the Timberwolves, he can go back to the Timberwolves. It's a little loophole, but it works out in his favor, I guess. But I do really like this move for the Bulls. Even though this isn't like a, oh, look, it's Nick Richards. You know, oh, this is our center for the future. It's more of a, he could play center for us for now. So this is a really intriguing thing for the Bulls. I do get it. Suns don't lose anything. Cole Anthony, it is what it is. You get your guard, right? You get a young guard that can be willing to help you. Chris Boucher has been waived, and then and this is where we are now. I want to quickly talk about the Lakers real quick. I know I talk about them a lot, but going into this deadline, I didn't expect much, and my expectations are exactly what I thought it was gonna be. Nothing's happened with the Lakers. Ron Pelinka refuses to even do anything resulting in getting anyone that's willing to help us now and has a longer contract. Because he is so adamant on the idea of going into the offseason with a lot of cap space, a lot of money to go after Giannis. I'm gonna be frank with you. The Giannis and Luka together will not work. It won't. I'm sorry to tell you, it will not work. I don't know who you guys think Giannis is. Giannis isn't this pick and roll type of guy. He just isn't that. And especially he's gonna be 32 years old. He just isn't that. We've seen it with Dame and Giannis. It didn't work for a reason because Giannis isn't a pick and roll type player. Luka doesn't work well with players like that. Giannis does not work well with players like Luka who are very ball dominant. And Luka and Giannis needs to be on a team where he is still. Hold up. No teams are willing to make a serious offer for John Morant. No one wants fucking John Morant. I'm talking about John Morant in a second. But no one really cared about, like, Rob Pelinka is so adamant on getting Giannis. Can we stop with the star players? Can we please stop going for stars? Can we just build a good team around Luka Doncic? Can we go out there? Why couldn't we go get Sadiq Bey? I'm so confused on that. I really want Sadiq Bey to be a Laker. Why couldn't we get Daron Holmes, Daron Sharp out there in Brooklyn? Even Andrew Wiggins would have been fine, but because these contracts are too long for Rob Pelinka, he doesn't want to go for it. And I knew going into this deadline that we weren't going to do shit. I knew it, but I thought maybe, hey, he might throw a surprise trade in there. But that Gabe Vincent trade is more like, you guys keep bitching too much. Fine, I'll do something. I'll get him off the team. What does that do? Dalton Connect is still on the team. Maxi Kleber is still on the team. Rui Hachimura is still on the team. What the fuck are we doing right now? I don't understand. And like, I'm seeing reports saying, oh, they believe that this Lakers team can make a playoff run. No, we can't. Every team in the Western Conference right now is banking on the fact that you can see the Lakers in the first round. Because it's a simple formula. We've seen it last year. You get the ball out of Luka's hand. No, you keep the ball in Luka's hands. Make sure no one else gets involved and you win the game. Luka will have 45 and 1 assist. You win the game. At the end of the day, when Luka's taking all the shots, no one else is getting involved. And then when the fourth quarter comes, hey, we're double Luka. No one else can make a fucking shot. We've seen it time and time again throughout the season, and it's going to be the same shit in the playoffs. And I'm so sick and tired of watching the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. Game after fucking game. It's the same problems, same things every single time. And I didn't expect a big time move like us going for fucking Giannis, us going for Andrew Wiggins. But I thought like a smaller trade along the lines of not getting Luke Kennard, who doesn't help us at all with our major flaws being defense. We can't defend for fucking shit. We can't keep more than 3 of our starters on the floor together at the same time because they can't fucking defend. But at the same time, Luke Kennard, hey, great shooter and all. But Laker tax is going to hit. He's not going to hit shots. He has a habit of passing out shots already as it is. So it's just, this isn't going to work out the way that the Lakers think it's going to work out. This has been a terrible experiment. This year's going to go to shit. LeBron's going to walk in free agency. The Lakers might offer a trade up for Giannis. Do a sign and trade at Reeves. Apparently the rumor package is Reeves and 3 first-round picks for Giannis. It's stupid, man. It's stupid to think the Lakers or the Rob Pelinka is banking on the fact of getting Giannis in the offseason. Because what would that team look like? Because then LeBron's going to be gone. Reeves is going to be gone. Then you're stuck with what? Luka, Giannis, who's still on the contract? Jake LaRavia? Vanderbilt? Connect? Bronny? Is that really a team they're trying to build here? The rest of the team is going to be dog shit because you will have no more money to sign. Aiden isn't a player option. Do you think he's coming back? I don't think he's fucking coming back. I don't think he wants to be back in the Lakers. After we're seeing Jackson Hayes outplaying him, he's not fucking coming back. So this team's gonna go to shit. This year's another wasted year for LeBron James. He's gonna get the fuck up out of there. And you say, oh, but Luka's prime. Yeah, Pelinka's known to wasting motherfuckers' primes. He can't do shit right, and we've known this. Without that Luka trade, he would have been fired the last offseason. Because he pulled off the Luka trade, he's still here. He's still living off Kobe's legacy. Enough for the Lakers. I've given up on them. But on top of things, I want to talk about John Morant for a second though, because John Morant is still a Grizzly. I don't know what the Grizzlies wanted out of him. I don't see the idea of what they were going for, because he hasn't been good all year. They said that they dropped his asking price, but no team made a serious offer because they don't know how to gauge John Morant. The Miami Heat were linked to everyone, and Miami Heat made 0 moves at the deadline. They're one of the only teams in the league to make 0 moves at the deadline. So I don't know if that was the game plan all along, to just, hey, fuck it, a lot like our team, let's go with it. Or they were trying to make a splash. They're trying to go for Giannis, try to go Ja, and they forgot, oh shit, we can make some small trades on the edges to make this team better. I didn't want us to make a run at Wiggins or Jaime Jaquez, someone that could help us even in the slightest. Hey, Rob Pelinka, Pat Riley, 2 stubborn motherfuckers. That shit was never gonna work out. It is what it is. The John Morant is staying a Grizzly until the offseason. I think then he gets 100% traded for scraps on the dollar. And don't be surprised if he gets sat for the rest of the season. John Morant is not gonna be a Grizzly much longer, so enjoy him for the next 5 more games until they shut him down for the rest of the year, because they want to lose games. What other things? The Knicks got slightly better throughout this. They did get Jose Alvarado, who was their big signing, the big trade piece they got. I really do like that for the Knicks. They really like defense, and they did get slightly better. Do I think that pushes them into the best team in the East? Not even close. That's the Cavs or the Pistons at this point. And I like that the Knicks did make a good trade for themselves, but the Cavs got so much better, and also the Pistons didn't do shit, did they? They got Kevin Huerter, so another shooter, in exchange for Ivy and a first-round swap. I don't know what this does for the Pistons. Adds more shooting, I guess that's needed. But then again, we knew that they weren't going to make a big splash. I thought they would try to trade Tobias Harris to get Kawhi Leonard, because the Clippers are clearly having a fire sale. So you could have tried to couple to Kawhi Leonard, but he ended up staying with them. So you kind of have to live with that fact. And the Pistons are still a great team. So why ruin what's working right now? But are they championship contender? They're the best in the East for now. Till the Cavs start rolling, start figuring it out after James Harden gets acclimated to the system. So you kind of have to cut your losses with there. Still, the Miami Heat made no moves. Chicago Bulls stocked up on a lot of guards. So you're fine with it. The Celtics got Vucevic, so they also got better. So every team has gotten better except for the Heat. The Heat down there stuck. Like Pat Riley does at every deadline. Pat Riley makes no moves unless someone wants to get out, like Jimmy Butler does. But we should know this by now. He will refuse to trade anyone unless he gets he basically trades scraps for something decent. Exactly what he does. But on top of things, another team that's stuck. Let's go ahead and talk about the Sacramento Kings, because they haven't done the trade for DeAndre Hunter, which is actually adding more money to a already expensive team. But Zach LaVine making the money he's making, Keegan Murray making the money he's making, DeRozan making the money he's making, Montes Sabonis making the money he's making. That just shows you that the Kings are a very expensive team for the worst team in the NBA. They're one of the most expensive teams while having one of the worst teams in the NBA. How does that work out for you? It doesn't work out at all. The team is terrible, and they refuse to trade anyone. This offseason, they're going to have a fucking fire sale. Where is Sabonis going to go? Because now the Pacers already have their center. The Celtics already have their center. Unless he goes to the Raptors. And then again, you look at it like, why the hell would the Kings want to get Jakob Poeltl, for example? It makes no sense. No team's willing to give a lot of assets for Domantas Sabonis. Same thing with Zach LaVine. He's making a lot of money for a guy who doesn't play basketball that good. He's been really inconsistent all year, making a lot of money for what? Same thing with DeRozan. Older guys, shot creators who pass their point in the NBA. No one's going to take a flyer on them. The Kings don't have any young players. They have nothing to look forward to. They're one of the worst teams in the league with nothing good going on. The only positive thing is they do have their own first round pick this year, so at least they'll get a top 5 pick, hopefully. But where do you go from there if you're the Kings? I don't know. They stayed put. We kind of expected it because no one wants any of the Kings' assets. It is what it is. This is exactly what you're going to have to live with. The Kings are going to do Kings things every single year. What is new about that? But now the whole Giannis situation is exactly what I thought was gonna happen. Because if you really thought Giannis was gonna come out here and be traded before the deadline or at the deadline, you were retarded. At the end of the day, the Bucks weren't gonna trade Giannis with 1 week left in the deadline after he basically said he basically requested a trade. But there wasn't enough time for teams to put together an adequate package to put around Giannis for Giannis Antetokounmpo. A lot of teams will have better assets come the offseason, and it'll give you like 3 to 4 months to really evaluate all your assets, to really figure out, okay, who is giving me the best package right now? I don't want to rush this trade. The Giannis threw all the Warriors threw all the chips on the table. Like, please Milwaukee, take all of our first round picks. Take Jonathan Kuminga. Take Draymond Green. Please take our pick. And they weren't interested. They hung up that phone. I'm surprised though. Because if you take all the Warriors' future first round picks, they don't amount to shit because Curry and Giannis are going to be gone by then. The team's going to be ass. But I guess they don't want to take that risk and they want a young player that's actually good. And Jonathan Kuminga isn't that. He hasn't established shit. So you take your time, you take a step back and see if you can go into the draft. Right? You try to see if you can get one of the most talented players in the draft. And at the same time, Milwaukee Milwaukee doesn't want to trade Giannis right away because they will still want to give it the offseason to build a team around Giannis. To see, hey, listen, what do you think of this team? Do you like it? You don't? Where do you want to go? I think that is the move the Bucks are trying to go for. Exactly what they said. They plan to build a team for Giannis this offseason and see, hey, is this good enough for you? No? Okay, pack it up. We'll find you somewhere. If it's good for you, okay, we'll give it a try and see what happens. I doubt they'll be able to put around the pieces to help Giannis this offseason. It's gonna go a long way. They have too much money on the Bucks. They're basically paying Miles Turner $50 million, and we're thinking, oh, we're making around 30. You're forgetting the whole Damian Lillard thing. Damian Lillard has $23 million on the Bucks for the next 2 to 3 years, so it's a whole basically Miles Turner's getting paid 50. That's 50 in the Bucks. Giannis is getting how much he's getting, over $100 million off of those 2 players, and you still have Bobby Portis's contract, Kyle Kuzma's contract. We're both making over $20 million a year. You're kind of stuck here. They've always been a second apron team, and they still are. The Bucks are stuck right now. They're basically in hell. Is there anything else I want to talk about the Warriors? Or we think Stephen Curry's prime? I mean, we've kind of established this by now. Stephen Curry is in hell right now. He's generally in hell. That team is atrocious looking. And right now they're in the play-in. Right? They are in the play-in. Right now they're an 8 seed, 27 and 24. They're 4 games off of the 7 seed. You know what I'm saying? And now this trade doesn't make them any better because you are stuck with Porzingis not playing any games. He has super AIDS. He has fucking super AIDS. The guy is not gonna play basketball for that much longer. What are we talking about? He's been sick since last year. It's been a full calendar year. He's been dealing with the sickness. 17 out of 52 games. That's less than 50% of the games he's been out. You know how crazy that is? And you traded Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield for him. And you go ahead and get a second round pick. We're thinking, oh, the Warriors are going for a big splash. You get the contract of Porzingis, and you also get a second rounder. They can make a big thing, but you didn't. Curry is going to be stuck in the plane yet again and losing the plane yet again. It's the same rotation every single time. And then, oh wow, and only 3 teams at deadline didn't make a trade. The Miami Heat, Houston Rockets, San Antonio Spurs. Obviously, we know why the Spurs didn't make a trade. Their team is fine. They feel content. They're above schedule, so why take any chances and try to capitalize now? You know what you have, and you know you could beat the best team in the league in Oklahoma City Thunder, so what is there really for you to worry about? And most of those games, Wemby was coming off the bench. So you know, okay, we can compete with the best of the best. The Nuggets shouldn't be a problem because right now Jokic is still hobbling on that leg. If you saw last night against the Knicks, he can't play heavy extensive minutes. I understand he still was coming off a back-to-back, but that knee isn't 100%. I think he rushed back because he needs to hit the game log, but I don't think he is. And then the Rockets, on the other hand, I believe they need to make a trade. They needed that scorer. They needed a point guard, and they might go out there and try to get Cam Thomas, but for what? You feel me? And they have money on their books in DFS, who's getting paid $14 million for the next 3 years, and he isn't playing basketball. He just isn't. He's simply just always hurt. You don't know what you're getting out of DFS. The Rockets, they aren't going to go anywhere. This team isn't constructed to win right now. The Spurs, we know why they didn't make any trades. Miami Heat should have did something. You feel me? They're right now the 7th seed, but they are generally 2.5 games of falling out of the play-in. 2.5 games and they're out of the play-in. So if Tyler Hero has been hurt all year, Noah Powell's an all-star, Bam has been wishy-washy, Khalil Ware barely gets minutes some games. So now you're like stuck in, you might fall into the play-in range. Because, well, you are in the play-in range, but you're not getting out. You're stuck in the play. You don't make any moves to help you right now. Miami Heat are stuck. I talked about the Pistons, they got better. Knicks got slightly better, still not good enough to beat the Pistons. Celtics have a lot better, getting Vucevic. I really do like that move for the future. He's basically Porzingis, healthier but can't defend as good. That's basically what Vuce is. Can't score inside, isn't a good defender, but you're kind of hoping on the fact that you have a lot of perimeter defenders surrounding him, a lot of good defenders that will cover up for Vuce's mistakes. So that's kind of where you are when it comes to Vucevic. The Cavs, obviously, we know who they are. They got James Harden, they got Keon Ellis, they got Dennis Schroeder. They filled every single gap they needed. Good defenders, spark plug. James Harden helps elevate the ceiling. You really enjoy that out of the Cavs. They're automatically my favorites in the Eastern Conference now. The 76ers, they traded away Jaden McCain. They made some rough move around the edges. Nothing really crazy. Their team's basically the exact same. They're hoping Paul George will be ready to go by the time his suspension's up. You just gotta live with it. Raptors haven't really done shit either. They made small buff the edges moves. Their roster is basically the exact same. We thought they'll try to get Ascendant because Jakob Poeltl has no timetable because of his back, but we'll see where that takes them. The Heat would talk about the Magic. What did they trade? Tyus Jones trade, right? Nothing. I forgot about Tyus Jones. Nothing. The Magic did anything to improve their team. They kind of just called it a day. We'll figure it out as we go on. Hopefully that with Paolo back healthy, Franz back healthy, Desmond Bane figure it out, that they'll figure it out together as a team. Atlanta, their major move was trading away Trae Young and Porzingis now. So now they have Kuminga and Buddy Hield. Even though they have a log jam at the forward position, I don't know what you do with Kuminga now. Or you starting him, or you have him stuck off the bench. Onyeka has been hooping, so you kind of like Onyeka for the season. Porzingis wasn't really playing. And like Mohamed Gui, I don't know how to say his last name. He's been decent off the bench as a backup big, so you live with that if you're the Atlanta Hawks. I don't know. Obviously, Buddy Hield plays the Luke Kennard role as the spot-up shooter, as a guy who's in the corner and lace that shit. With Jonathan Kuminga now, I don't know where he fits. He definitely gets more playing time on this Hawks team than they did on the Golden State Warriors. The Hawks ceiling is exactly the same before the trade deadline as it is now. As a playing team, they might sneak into the playoffs, might win a game or two against the Pistons, but that's about it. Chicago Bulls have went full tank, trading away Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, Vucevic, but keeping Giddey there because Giddey is like the long-term guy. Patrick Williams is still a Chicago Bull. Surprise, surprise. The guy they paid $90 million for back in 2020, but back a couple years ago, is still on their team. They're paying a lot of money to send the bench and do fuck all, and no one wants that either. The Bulls are going to fall take, and they're willing to give up their playing spot for the Charlotte Hornets, who are going all out right now with getting Kobe White. They clearly want that playing spot. They're now on a 7-game win streak. 7-game win streak. They are hooping. You have to give credit to Charlotte Hornets. Really like the moves they're doing. The Bucks, it's the fucking Milwaukee Bucks. They focus too much on taking all the calls from Giannis. They didn't do anything significant. They didn't help their cause at all. They're trying to tank some more games. Even Giannis might get shut down. And that's exactly what might end up happening. Giannis might get shut down the rest of the season, as we've heard rumblings on. We don't know how true that is. He's supposed to be injured for the next month. So they might shut him down for the season. The Nets, nothing significant. Obviously, they just shredded some guys. Traded Wade Cam Thomas, Wade Hayward Highsmith. Called it a day and figured it out from there. Also, nothing crazy. Obviously, with the Wizards, they traded for Anthony Davis. Not for this season. It's more of a long-term deal. Trying to get a top draft pick in order to help this team in the future. Pacers got Zubac. Not for the now, but for the future too. A lot of these teams that trade for the future, not for the now. That's the whole Eastern Conference. In the West, though, OKC, they got Jared McCain. It's a high reward, low risk type of thing. You gave up first-round picks to get him, and hopefully he could blossom in the next year. Try to fill a hole next offseason. Offseason comes around, like, okay, we can move some players around because we have Jared McCain now. I'm surprised that they didn't trade Lou Dort and extend for a guy like Trey Murphy. You have the picks. You might as well go all in and get him. Try to capitalize on the window right now. They kind of kept their team exactly the way it is. You kind of like the idea what the Denver Nuggets are doing out there, but I don't see this Jokic injury is really scary because he did not look 100% last night. And it's been looking bad since he came back from injury. Let's hope throughout the season he can rehab that leg a lot better, because if it's not, it's gonna get real scary come playoff time. They didn't do anything big. They kind of just waved off a contract so that they could sign Spencer Jones to a full-time deal. The Rockets we spoke about, Timberwolves got Ayo Dosunmu. I really like that for them. They didn't give any assets. To give up Rob Dillingham and picks, I was surprised on that fact. But Rob Dillingham didn't really play for them. I guess they feel Ayo Dosunmu is more ready now. And for them to have a good backup guard and might start at point guard outside of Dante DiVincenzo. Because Ayo Dosunmu was a better playmaker than Dante is. So he kind of really alleviate the ball off of and a lot more with Ayo Dosunmu being the primary ball handler and playmaker. The Lakers did fuck all. We traded away Gabe Vincent for Kevin Huerter. I mean, for Luke Kennard. Who the fuck gives a shit, right? Who actually cares? Because I don't. I do not care at all. This trade doesn't do anything for us. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't help us now, future, the season. It's a lateral move to say, hey, fuck you guys. I'll do a trade just to make you guys happy. The Phoenix Suns, though, then again, they got Cole Anthony to be their guard. You really got to chalk it up there. Okay. And they traded away Nick Richards so that, I guess, what's his name? Forgetting his name. The center they drafted in last draft. What is his name? Malach. There it is. So that Malach can get more minutes as the backup center because he wasn't really playing because Nick Richards was. We'll see more of that. The Warriors we spoke about already. We talk about their Porzingis trade. It is what it is. Clippers we spoke about briefly, but we know what they're doing. They're tanking. That's for sure. We know that they're tanking. It is what it is with them. We know exactly the Clippers' direction. They're tanking and hope for the Pacers can do it. Kawhi's going to keep them afloat enough to keep them in the play-in, though. So we'll see what that takes him. The Blazers, what did they do? I know the trade would do a brief. It is what it is. They didn't do anything to really improve their team. They kind of kept stay put. Grizzlies, full-on take mode. We established that already. Selling high. Selling everyone except for John Morant because they couldn't find the right deal for him. Might show him that rest of the year. But again, mysterious injury next couple weeks. The Dallas Mavericks, though, they trade away Anthony Davis. We established that already. They also won them Malachi Branham. No. They got Tyus Jones, I believe. I forgot which one they got. Who gives a shit? Yeah, they bought on Tyus Jones because they traded D'Angelo Russell. Have another guard there. I mean, I guess. It doesn't really do shit for them. The Utah Jazz obviously got Jaren Jackson Jr. I thought they'll try for the play-in this year, but they are 7 games out. I doubt they'll make the play-in. I think whoever's in the play-in right now stays there because the rest of the teams are bottoming them out. And the Jazz are building for next year for when Walker Kessler comes back. That's kind of their whole game plan. The New Orleans Pelicans, though, they traded away Jose Alvarado. They kind of stayed put, kept the rest of the team the way it is. It's the Pelicans. They fucking suck. They refuse to sell their players. They don't even have their own draft pick. The Hawks are getting that. So there's nothing positive coming out of the season. We end off with the Sacramento Kings, who haven't done fuck all. But the Kings are a terrible organization. And whoever plays there, you're stuck in purgatory. And I pray that they don't get a top 3 pick. AJ, Cam Boozer, or Jalen Peterson do not deserve to be in Sacramento. But that is it. The full trade deadline trades and in which each team's future is looking like. And as always, go hard on them dudes. Salute.